Hi, welcome back to This is 40. My name is David Carpio, and I wanted to talk about a mindset shift I'm trying to implement in my life to build deeper connections with the people that I know, the people that I'm trying to get to know and build a relationship on. And one of the things that I'm noticing is there's this tendency to approach situations with this duality type of mindset. I'm thinking in terms of this or that. I'm thinking in terms of a winner and a loser, of right and wrong, or right or wrong. And when I do this and I approach conversations and social situations with this type of mindset, it's like I'm creating this tension or this expectation that someone is going to walk away a winner or a loser, that there's good or there's bad. And in doing that, I feel like there's like this need to justify my position, to explain my reasoning, to prove my point, to protect myself, my fear of losing control, of not having control, of protecting my ego. And for whatever reason I do it, I'm trying to fight that urge because I don't want to engage in this type of behavior. My ultimate goal in communicating with people is to build a connection and learn and grow. And I understand and realize that there is a vulnerability in maybe not knowing everything and not having something to say, or not being included in a conversation, or I'm going to forget my point, so I need to get it in right now. One thing that I'm trying to shift to is this idea of non-dual thinking. I came across this concept in a reading this last week, and I really enjoyed the point. So basically, the first question that came to mind is it possible that two opposing points of view, perspectives, are able to coexist at the same time? Does there have to be a winner or a loser? Does there have to be right or wrong? Can't both things exist at the same time? So to give you some examples of non-dual thinking, think of someone that you really love, your wife or your husband. You really want to spend all your time with them and give them the quality time that they deserve. And at the same time, you want to get your own time to get away, to hear your own thoughts, to work on things individually and process things and go for a walk. Those two things can exist at the same time, and there's nothing wrong with it. Or think of wanting to improve yourself, work on yourself. You want to be the best version of yourself. And there's a fear that you're going to make a mistake, that you're going to fall short, that you're going to make an error. Those two things can work together simultaneously. Last example I'll give you is think of your kids. You want to spend all your time with them and cherish them and have fun with them and laugh and play and all those things. And your kids can drive you crazy and make you frustrated and get you out of sorts. Those two things can coexist. So the world is a complex, complicated, and chaotic place. Life happens to us and it's very nuanced. It's complicated. And the irony of truth is that oftentimes I feel like we find it in the most unlikely sort. It's found in the paradox. It's found in places that it shouldn't be. And for myself speaking, I have this tendency that I need to be right and I need to know the solution and I need to know the best way. When in reality, if we open ourselves up to talk to others, we can gain knowledge that they might bring to the table. And that knowledge that they have can be everything that I need. But if I spend all my time talking to them, talking through them, talking at them, just being argumentative and not being willing to just coexist, then I can miss out on those nuggets of truth that can have such a huge impact on my daily life. The other realization that I'm having is that it's not just about being stable, because if I'm only focusing on being stable, I might not be able to change. I might be stuck in my ways. But the fear is that you sacrifice stability and then you're going too far one way. So it's like you got to find that center point, the balance point, and try to navigate. And it's okay if you veer off, but you're trying to kind of get back to center. And you're being a little bit more flexible. You're being a little bit more thick-skinned and rugged. And you're not always jumping to the conclusion that everyone is out to get you and that no one understands you and that I'm entitled to this feeling and I'm entitled to this treatment and everyone should know exactly where I stand at all times. Too much of one thing is not always the best. Too much yes becomes basically like a crutch. It can inhibit or give you blind spots towards finding right solutions. And I find that solutions are best when they incorporate all these different points of view from a vantage point that maybe I don't have, from an understanding that I don't quite get, from some knowledge that I don't quite haven't obtained yet. Getting all this information can help me shape and make the best possible decision or have alleviate some of this pressure that it needs to be this instant and now. The last realization that I wanted to talk about is that I want to focus on the legitimacy of people's experiences, hardships, backgrounds, upbringing, where they came from, and what their vantage point is. I can gain so much from just listening and trying to step outside of myself, to have some empathy and put myself in someone else's shoes, to try to think about what it would feel like if that was happening to me or if I was in their position. People's experiences are undeniable. You can't change someone's feelings. They are real and honest and vulnerable. And if I go around in my life and attack someone or put them down or make them feel belittled, I might be stunting their growth. I might be having a negative impact on them as well as myself because I'm inadvertently stunting my growth as well. So the last kind of to sum it all up, I'm trying my best to accept that I will make mistakes. I am trying to listen. I'm trying to ask more questions. I'm trying to pause and think to myself, what am I feeling in this moment? And the other thing that I'm realizing as well is that when I'm having a conversation, the other individual or individuals may be going through the exact same scenario or experiencing the same feelings, or maybe even more or less. A lot of people are working their thoughts and their feelings and their opinions out in real time. And if we are attacking each other and talking at each other in all these instances, we are not going to find this place of not necessarily harmony, but just within a certain tempo. I think of jazz. Jazz is constantly adjusting and modifying to different time signatures, but the music is still has like a drive and a feeling and a rhythm to it. And that's kind of how our life is. It's not one thing all the time, or it's not so predictable that you can just, okay, well, you're just going to plug it in and we're going to take off. It is more complicated than that, and it's more dynamic. And so I'll end with this. I am trying my best to be a better version of myself, and I'm embracing this idea that I am becoming who I am versus a destination where I arrive at something and then I'm done. So I'm enjoying the process, and I'm enjoying talking to anyone who's willing to listen. Thank you for your time. Peace out.